Hello everyone and welcome once again to the channel, and in this video we are going to be seeing a tutorial on how we can write a C program to merge and sort of sort two arrays. And yeah, so it's just going to be a basic C program. It's fairly straightforward. Okay, so let's get started. Just a side note before getting started is that if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, it really motivates me to create more content. So that would be really beneficial for my channel. Great, so let's get started. So first of all, what we want to do here is open any text editor where you have C++ configured, and I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code. So great. So here we can just create our folder, create a file called, let's just call it merge.c. And yeah, so great. So first let's just import the headers that we need. So that's stdlib. We require standard input output, and yeah, great. So our headers are done. So right, let's just create all the variables that we'll be needing. So we'll be needing three arrays, right? So let's just the array 1, array 2, let's just set their sizes as 20 each, and a third array that will store the merged array, right? So let's just give it a greater size. Great. So we have an array A, B, and C. Next, let's create some variables that we'll be needing, and let's just create a few extras as well, just in case. Yeah, that should be enough. Okay, let's get, yeah, so after this we just need to make sure we write our functions here that we will be needing. So we are going to have a create function, a merge function, a sort function, and a main function after this. So our program is requires us to do a lot of the things. We need to accept the array from the user, which is sort of like creating the array. Then what we want to do is we want to we want to accept a second array from the user and also merge that array, and and the final merged array we must also be able to sort the array, correct? So it would be much easier if we approach this program in a menu format. So that would be very convenient for us to do. So let's write our main function now. Void main, let's just write the variable in choice, since we'll be offering the user a menu from which they can choose what they want to do. So they can either create, after the user can, for example, click on 1 to create, and after creating they can click on 2 to merge, 3 to sort, 4 to exit the program, etc. So great, let's do that. So we'll be writing a do while loop here, since we need it to at least run once. So a do while loop, what it does is, no matter, even if the condition is false in the while loop here, the loop will at least run once. So yeah, let's do this, and let's just write a menu here. Great, printf menu. So this is, we wanna indent it and /n is just for space, and it must go on the next line. So we want to indent it properly so that it's readable in the terminal. We want to printf, and let's write the first option, which is create /n, printf, and this should be merge. Let's just copy these two and give our options the name 3 and 4. So they can click on 1 to create the array, 2 to merge, 3 to sort, and 4 to maybe exit the program. Okay, let's just leave another space here so that it looks proper and precise. Yeah, so now we want to ask the user for the choice, right? So let's ask the user for the choice. Enter your choice. This should again be spaced. Yeah, so once you enter the users enter the choice, you accept the choice. So that's done using scanf and C. So scanf with the space, #d stands %d is for an we're showing that that signifies that we're accepting an integer value, and this is from variable and choice, right? This is the choice that we are accepting. Great. So once we've done this, we want to write a switch case, right, to determine what to do when the particular choice is selected. So switch cases are really helpful. Let's write case 1. So if the first option is clicked, we want to we call the create function, and if not, then we break case 2, and the second one is just merge. Break case 3 is just to sort and case 4 is just to exit the program, right? So we'll just have an exit function here, exit, which is inbuilt, and exit, break. And every switch case always has a default value that it must. This is absolutely necessary for it to have printf invalid input. Great. Once this is done, what we want to do is we want to write our while here. Yeah. So while the choice is not equal to 4, we just want to write get ch. Okay, great. As long as we don't exit from the program, we must get the character from the console. So great. Once you write. Are we missing a semicolon somewhere? Let's just get to it later. So yeah, once we're done with the main function, we go ahead and write the create function, right? Oh right, this is a do while loop. So there'll be a semicolon there. Great. That error is gone. So now we have a create function, right? So printf, this create function should just accept the array size first. So enter the size of the array, and once this is done, we want to accept the values, correct? So scanf %d comma n. Yeah, so this is for the variable n value. Once the size has been determined, what we want to do is we want to printf and write enter the elements of the array, and so once this is done, we just print the array, right? No, we want to accept the array, so we'll need a for loop for that. So I should be less than the size of the length, and we want to increment the value. Great. So we just accept the array one by one. We just accept all the values now, which is %d because they are integer values, and we are accepting. So ampersand a of I, storing it in the a variable that we had declared above. So once this is done, so that's it for our void function. That we have a merge function. No, then we have we must also create a display function, right? Since you want to display the array. So printf, let's just write with a space so that it's properly done. Array should be spaced for I equal to 0, I less than n. No, this one's p, and I plus plus. And we have printf %d c of I. Okay, great. So this looks good to go. So once you've done this, what we want to do is we want to write a merge function, right? So this is our target for this video. Good, like successful execution of the merge and the sort command, or merge and the sort functions, right? So let's go. So let's write our merge function printf. Enter. So we already have our first array, right, that we have accepted from the user with the create function, since they have to create one array to get to the merge function. So here we'll just be asking the user for the second array. So enter the size of the second array, and enter the size of the second array. Okay, we want to accept those values, right? So scanf %d comma in the variable m, that's the size of the second array, and then we want to input the elements. So that's a /n, enter the elements of the second array. Okay, so /n with a space. Now we want to accept those values. So for y equal to 0, I less than m, right? And I plus plus scanf %d. Okay, no, that's incorrect. This should go in our variable, in our array, right? %d in BOI. Okay, so now we need, now that we have both our arrays, we can begin the process of merging those arrays. So let's write the logic for merging the array, which is, so we need another for loop, I equal to 0, and we also require j in this loop. So j equal to 0, and I should be less than the size of the first array, right? And we just increment I and j. So I equal to 0, j equal to 0, I is less than n, and I plus plus, and j plus plus. Okay, so this is done. Now what we want to do is we just want to assign all of A's elements into C, right? So that's just A, which is our final array. So C of j equal to A of I, is it? A of I. This should work. If not, we can always debug the program later. So I think this should work. And now we just need another loop for the same I equal to 0, and here I must be less than must be less than m, I plus plus and j plus plus. Okay, and here what we want to do is, again we want to insert into our final merged array b's elements, so b of I. Okay, so our merging should be done here. We just need, yeah, so p equal to n plus m obviously, and printf, we just do array after merging, since you want to display it right after merging. So array after merging is so I equal to 0 less than p, I plus plus. We just want to do printf. We want to print the C array, right, which stores our final answer. So final merged array. So that's just C of I, right? C of I. Great. So this is done. Now we just need a sort function. So this is just the most basic sort that I'll be applying here, and it just goes in a nested for loop, which is just for I equal to 0, I less than p, right, and I plus plus, and inside our nested for loop has j equal to 0, j must be less than p minus 1, j plus plus. I just space it out properly so that it's readable. Yeah, and we just write a function here, write our if condition here. If c of j, right, is greater than c of j plus 1, we're comparing it with the next element. So if c of j is greater than c of j plus 1, we want to swap those values, right? So temp, in our temp variable we store the value on the left, c of j, swap it. So c of j, if you're not familiar with swapping values, then this is a fairly straightforward program. C of j plus 1, and then c of j plus 1 should just equal to temp. Yeah, should just be equal to temp. Okay, great. This looks right. Hopefully there are no errors. Yeah, and now we just we have to print the sorted array as well. So we print array after sorting, which is just and here we can just call the display function. Great, so this program should work. Let's just test it out. Yeah, so this is our menu here that we created: create, merge, sort, and exit. So we can input our choice. Let's just make it a little more appealing. Enter your choice. Let's just check size. All of them have semicolons, so it's visible. Okay, let's run it again. Yeah, let's run it. So we want to create an array. So, and again it says enter the size of the array, so we enter 5. This is because we just entered a /n there, so we can remove that. 5, enter the elements of the array, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, great. So this array has been created. Now we want to create another array to merge, right? So we can test the merging. So we click on 2 as our choice. So enter the size of the second array. So again, let's just enter this as 3 and write 1, 2 and 3. Great. So it says array after merging is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So our merging has worked successfully. Now we must just check our sorting here. So if this, so we enter our choice as 3, and 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 5. Great. So our sorting has also worked successfully. So yeah, so this has just been a basic straightforward C program on how you can create functions, how you can that we have demonstrated the use of input output, use of functions, use of switch case statements. And yeah, so this program can really help you learn a lot about C concepts. And it's also and it's also very beneficial to practice logic building and data structures. And so there's no data structure used as except besides arrays obviously, but this is a very helpful program for basic logic building. So great, this has been so yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like the video, and yeah, and please subscribe to the channel.